Welcome back to Mock the Mock, where we take a look at someone else's mock draft and I'm mocking, giving you my views, thoughts, and opinions. Today we look at the GOAT, Todd McShay, and his new mock draft. Was going to release my own mock draft today, but since Todd McShay already has his out, I'll push mine out to Friday. That way y'all get a little something special for the weekend. But tonight we are doing a Walk the Mock. If you don't know what that is a live draft simulator where you get to draft against other people, and we do this during our live streams. If you want to take part in that, check out the description. You got to be a member at Walk the Mock. Use promo code Broshmo50. It gets you 50% off, and it's a good deal. But let's go ahead and get into this sucker. By the way, what's crack-a-lackin'? It's your boy Broshmo, just in case you did not know. So go ahead, become a bro and subscribe. Leave this video a thumbs up if you enjoy the content. As always, let me know what you think in the comment section below. Let's have that nice, beautiful football discourse. So, as with many mocks, we see the Colts and the Bears doing the little trade thing. So, don't know exactly what he put down for the value here. I think it's right here. But I'd expect the Bears to receive something in the ballpark: a pick 4, a second rounder, a 5th rounder, and maybe even an additional round 1 selection in 2024. Okay, so there it is. Maybe even, I feel like 2 first rounders. If the Bears moving, they're like, yo, give us 2 firsts. Come on. Anywho, the Colts up first. They take Bryce Young. For me, that's kind of a no-brainer. If you're trading up, you're going to get quarterback. Get the signal caller of the future, especially if you're trading up. Go ahead and get him. I think Bryce Young, for me, is just in a tier by himself when it comes to this quarterback class. I think he just sees the field much better than any of these quarterbacks. He's got a good arm. He consistently keeps his eyes downfield, even when on the move or maneuvering the pocket or rolling out. Like, he does a great job of keeping the play alive, and I just love how quick he processes the field. Like, legit, he's good. He is freaking good. If only he wasn't medically what I'm not gonna say that. That's a dumb joke. I'm not gonna say that. Let's just say he's small. Oh man, but it ain't the size of the boat, it's the motion of the ocean digging, and I'm digging the motion of Bryce Young. Alright, so we're gonna see another quarterback here, CJ Stroud, going to the Texans. This one makes a lot of sense for me. Texans, you might want to move, like, if you really are sold on a quarterback in this class, probably Bryce Young, or maybe, I don't know, you probably want to potentially move to one just to go ahead and secure that quarterback. But I would say if you're not high on Bryce Young, then just sit there at 2 and just see what happens with pick 1. In any case, CJ Stroud for me is also the next quarterback off the board. I get it. There's some inconsistencies with him on the down-and-out bases. He doesn't necessarily do everything right, but he's got a tremendous arm. He's able to throw in dots. He doesn't need to see windows. He can throw with anticipation, and I like that about him. And I get it. All that's kind of inconsistent every now and then. Like within like games, you know, he'll go from like throwing with very good anticipation, like producing a window for his receiver, giving them the opportunity to make a play after the catch as well. And there's other plays where it was like, oh, okay, that's kind of an overthrow, don't know where you're going there, or he'll throw into like maybe like triple coverage. To be fair, that was the Michigan game. Worst throw, and he had 2 picks. Worst throw was a throw into triple coverage that got dropped. His 2 picks, actually, I didn't even think were bad picks. But yeah, I actually like Bryce Young. Under pressure, there's concerns there in the Georgia game. For some people, he quelled that. But I mean, it's definitely got to be something that you keep in the back of your mind. You can't just take just one game. Oh, problem solved. But he is a dude that can use his mobility. He just often really does want to sling the football. All right, let's see. Arizona Cardinals, this is Jalen Carter or Will Anderson, and it's Will Anderson. So they do have Jonathan Gannon now there in tow. So maybe he's like, hey, yo, straight up, we need to get some pass rush on this squad. We need to rush the passer. We'll figure out what we're going to do with the corner position, but we need to be sure that whoever we have there at corner, that they're not going to be stuck on an island for a long time. We got to make sure we hit home. And Will Anderson helps you do that, which means Jalen Carter's going to the Bears here. Jalen Carter going to the Bears. So likewise, I keep saying this, even without a trade, for the most part, we see Jalen Carter, Will Anderson, and then 2 quarterbacks. Even without a trade, that's kind of how we see it. Majority of people see it, that Colts, Texans draft quarterback, Cardinals, Bears, they take Will Anderson or Jalen Carter. So I don't know why people need the trade in their mock, but okay, it is what it is. All right, this is where the draft comes alive with the Seahawks taking Tyree Wilson. Low-key, this could be also a quarterback landed spot. I know maybe some Seahawks fans don't want to hear that. Kind of is what it is, but having Tyree Wilson here I think is pretty darn solid. I prefer Miles Murphy. That's kind of my preference, but I get why a lot of people like Tyree Wilson, man. The dude is exceptionally solid as well. So they get a guy with huge wingspan, good tools, just needs some polish. Detroit Lions, let's see if this is a corner. No, it's Miles Murphy. Oh, shucks. Finally, a little change of things here. Okay, I'm all for the change. Okay, so let's you get Miles Murphy, a guy who honestly could kick inside on passing downs when you bring in James Houston. And suddenly that's stupid scary, man. Looking at a line with James Houston, Aiden Hutchinson, Miles Murphy, and Aleem McNeil. That's scary. Those passing downs are going to be terrifying. But Miles Murphy gives you a solid guy on the outside who's just very physically imposing. I mean, you could use him honestly in a plethora of different ways. So I'm not against it. I'm glad to see Miles Murphy, man. Like, I've seen him really low in some mock drafts. I'm glad to see him back in the top 10. Right, Will Levis going to the Raiders. I actually really like this because right now with the Raiders, I don't feel like they're in the market for Aaron Rodgers. They could probably bring in Jimmy G or Jacoby Brissett, both of whom are familiar with Josh McDaniels, but still, they're probably widely viewed as bridge quarterbacks. Grabbing Will Levis, I think, is pretty darn solid. Again, a guy coming from a NFL offense the last 2 seasons. He's got huge arm, throws with tremendous velocity. You just got to get him to be more consistent, better decision making, and such. All right, which makes me really curious where the Panthers will go in this mock. But let's go ahead and take a look at the Atlanta Falcons. Peter Skoronski. Oh, man, I didn't even know the Falcons had Chuma Doga. I actually really liked him when he came out. Oh, well. No longer with the Jets. Here, okay, so basically, Caleb McGarry is I feel like is a must-sign free agent for the Atlanta Falcons. They don't bring him back, though. You're kind of wide open there at the right tackle spot. Peter Skoronski isn't out of the realm of possibility. I think he would do a lot of things that Arthur Smith would absolutely love. Your offense is kind of built off of the run game. I think they were the most run-heavy team in football last season. So, yeah, if you let McGarry go, man, if you let him hit free agency, getting Skoronski could be huge. Could be the way to go. All right, let's see if this is Anthony Richardson. All right, Carolina Panthers, they get Anthony Richardson. So, Frank Reich, he's here in tow, and he's going to go ahead and get his quarterback of the future. It sounded like they could be in the Derek Carr sweepstakes, but they could honestly bring back Sam Darnold and just be like, yeah, Sam Darnold, go ahead, you get your season. Hopefully, maybe you could improve your stock. Sign him to 1 year, be like, hey, come here, try to improve your stock. That way, when you hit free agency, maybe you can find a really good deal while we develop Anthony Richardson. I think that's kind of a good place to be, because I mean, if you're the Panthers, you take your quarterback, you build. Hopefully, maybe with Sam Darnold, you end up picking in the top 10 again, and then you could start just continue to build, add more weapons, maybe like a Marvin Harrison Jr. in the 2024 draft. So, yeah, no, I find myself getting more and more on board with the potential of Anthony Richardson at Carolina. Here comes Brian Brazee. Look at this, man. So many people hate Brian Brazee. I don't know why. Good guy. But out of him, they do have Javon Hargrave is a free agent. Fletcher Cox, I believe, is a cap casualty because I think he has void years. I don't know how all that stuff technically works. But adding more guys to the interior defensive line, I think definitely goes a long way. So Brian Brazee next to Jordan Davis would be freaking mamma mia scary. I like that. I mean, there's a variety of ways they could go. I mean, they talk about all the expiring contracts here. James Bradbury, CJ Gardner Johnson, Brandon Graham, Robert Quinn. You got White, Edwards, Epps, what is it? Simalu. So it's like, who exactly do they spend it on? Yeah, it include Miles Sanders, but I ain't taking a run back inside the top 10. All right, Paris Johnson to the Tennessee Titans. Makes a load of sense. Likely Taylor Lewan could be a cap casualty here. The rumors are that they will part ways with him. Paris Johnson, I think if you're looking strictly for a tackle, because again, there's concerns with Peter Skronsky's length. Not necessarily the high-end athlete that Johnson and maybe a guy like Broderick Jones are going to test out to be. So Paris Johnson makes a ton of sense here. I mean, they already dipped on Nicholas Petit-Frere. So if they like what they saw in him, I imagine they're going to love what they see in Paris Johnson. Houston Texans, Quentin Johnson. Oh, wow, man. Not much has really changed, or at least changed or evolved in Todd's mock draft thus far. So you get a weapon to pair up with your new quarterback. I think the Texans are going to be doing a lot in free agency on the defensive end. So if they want to go offense heavy in the first round, I'm kind of cool with that. Quentin Johnson, people are kind of crapping on him. I say crapping on him, and like, whenever I see him slide out of the top 20, I'm just like, he's better than that. Like, I feel I'd be willing to take him inside the top 20. So it's good to see him back here at 12. He's been a very popular receiver mocked here at 12. I know it's like, oh, we're going to have to replace Brandon Cooks, though. Like, that's not really the type of guy we're looking for. It's like, yeah, but I mean, you're getting a speedy guy who turns upfield real quick if you get the ball underneath to him, or even just a long vertical target. Like, he's just got way better size than Brandon Cooks ever had. So I'm not against it. He's actually not that similar to what you have in Nico Collins, so I won't worry about it. Broderick Jones going to the Jets. This is another one I like because I think if the Jets end up keeping this pick, depends. They get Aaron Rodgers, obviously. But grabbing an offensive tackle here, I think, opens up a lot of versatility to this offensive line, depending on like where you want to play Elijah Vera Tucker. Like if you really like Max Mitchell, or maybe Mekhi Becton, you want to give him a legit shot. Like Broderick Jones could like really go play any of those two spots. Actually, I would probably move Mekhi Becton over to right tackle because back at Louisville, he kind of played both sides. So I think regardless, Broderick Jones ends up being your left tackle. And then you got Max Mitchell, Mekhi Becton, maybe even Elijah Vera Tucker. They're at left or at right tackle. Then you could decide what you do on the interior there. Maybe you bring Elijah Vera Tucker in there with Laken Tomlinson. Maybe you bring, hopefully, I think they should bring back Connor McGovern. He's very underrated. So I feel tackle just really opens up a lot of what they can do there on the offensive line. All right, the Patriots go with Joey Porter. I believe this is the first corner off the board, too. This is interesting, man. The way everyone sees this corner class is just so different. Typically, it's between, Christian Gonzalez, Devon Witherspoon, and then Joey Porter. Occasionally, you'll see maybe like Cam Smith. Deontay Banks is becoming a hotter and hotter name as we speak. But the Patriots going corner, I think, if they don't want to bring back Jonathan Jones, or at least don't want to pay Jonathan Jones, I think that makes sense. All right, we got the Green Bay Packers. They go Michael Mayer. Again, this is kind of an easy spot to mock Michael Mayer. It's like, oh man, the Packers, they hate drafting receivers in the first round, or at least they don't do it. How can we help whoever is going to be throwing the football there in Green Bay? Tight end. There we go. Because Robert Tonyan also is a free agent. So Michael Mayer, top tight end off the board. Like, love to see it. Commanders, is this going to be corner? Yeah, they go Devon Witherspoon, which I like. Devon Witherspoon for some people's corner 1. I have him kind of as 1B to Christian Gonzalez as 1A. Then I have Joey Porter. But, nah, man. Play a guy that can come in there, get into the rotation with guys like Kendall Fuller, Benjamin St. Juice. So I like that. Even Fuller's a guy that's capable of playing in the slot. And I think it was Bobby McCain last season was primarily their slot guy. So maybe you can move Fuller there, have Witherspoon and St. Juice play on the outside, or even vice versa. You could put Witherspoon in the slot. Maybe give Jeremy Reeves, man, more shots at safety, dude. Because you got Cameron Curl there in the box. They got Derek Forrest too, but like Bobby McCain was kind of the slot deep guy, so it's like, I think Jeremy Reeves can do that, man. I thought he was solid. I don't know why this guy never got really more playing time the last couple of years. Great special teams player, though. Pittsburgh Steelers, they're going Christian Gonzalez. Okay, so we see the run on corners here. Cameron Sutton is a free agent. Behind him, they really have kind of this crew of, you kind of hope they work out. They don't really have a true cornerback 1, unless they do bring back Sutton, who's a guy that's been very good, a guy that can play in the slot, play on the outside. So getting Gonzalez, even if they retain Sutton, I think is huge. I think obviously more talent, more competition at the cornerback position is needed for Pittsburgh. The Detroit Lions are taking Keely Ringo here. So they're going to pair up Jeffrey Okudah with a big corner. It'd be interesting to see how he plays in this, how he kind of profiles in Aaron Glenn's defense. I'm all for it, though. Ringo, another guy that's kind of been not slept on, but like his stock's kind of taken a hit for a very inconsistent 2022. But I mean, when you play that fast, when you have size and tools the way Ringo does, like you're going to the first round. Keep in mind, he played in the SEC. Like Tariq Woolen, I would say, had very similar tools, but coming out of UTSA, felt like probably teams viewed him more as a project. That's why he went so late, 5th round. I think I had him in my top 75 last year. I thought that was crazy. Tampa Bay Buccaneers really could go in a variety of different ways. They're going with Lucas Van Ness. Their pass rush was trash, especially after Barnett went down. They just really couldn't get home and put pressure on. I think they could go one of two ways here if they're looking at the defense, and that's try to get a corner, address that spot now that's going to be open because Jamil Dean and Sean Murphy-Bunting are both going to be free agents, so address that spot. Or make sure your pass rush consistently can hit home. So Lucas Van Ness, I like that. He kind of comes in and he's an immediate upgrade over like an Anthony Nelson. So, and there we go. I say immediate. That's funny. They both came from Iowa, didn't they? Huh. We got here. Let me adjust this real quick. There we go. We have the Seahawks going Brian Branch. Ooh. Hot take. So actually not really. Brian Branch kind of enables Kobe Bryant to go play on the outside, which he did. He played slot last year, but he when he was at Cincinnati, the Bearcats, not the Bengals, he primarily played on the outside across from Sauce Gardner. So maybe you can move him back outside. Brian Branch is going to be a phenomenal slot playmaker there. So suddenly you're looking a bit better on the out, or not maybe, but you're looking a bit better on the outside with guys like Kobe Bryant, Michael Jackson, Trey Brown. So you got a bevy of guys you're kind of hoping emerge as that corner two to Tyreek Woolen, because they also have Diggs, Adams, Ryan Neal. So their safety position's kind of locked up here. Brian Branch though kind of allows you to potentially get better on the outside. So I like pick. Also, I think Brian Branch is phenomenal. After this is the Chargers, right? It is, and they're going with Cam Smith. Ooh, a surprise corner pick here. Let's read this actually, because I'm intrigued. It'd be great to get the Chargers a defensive tackle to plug up that horrid run defense that allowed a league high 5.4 yards per carry in 2022, but the value just isn't there. The next DBs on my board are Siaki Ika, Mozzie Smith, and Keanu Benton, all of whom look like early day 2 prospects. And I kind of agree with that, because if you're the Chargers, you're looking for a more meteor guy, so you're not going to think about guys like Kalijah Kancey or Adetomiwa Adibariye. So you're not going to think about those guys, because those are undersized penetrators, disruptors, and you're looking for maybe the more meteor guys who can play that nose tackle spot, or just be a good run stuff and nose tackle. So I agree with that. You're probably not looking at that here, but I might be looking at speed from the receiver position. So guys like Jordan Addison, maybe even Zay Flowers, extremely fast guys that can help stretch the field. They didn't really have that. You could think tight end. I know there's a lot of people really high on this tight end class, like there could be multiple tight ends that go in the first round. I'm not quite there yet, but I do think like the early second round, like you start to look at guys like Dalton Kincaid, Darnell Washington, Luke Musgrave. But I mean, maybe you could kind of reach on one of the, not necessarily reach, but take one of those guys a little earlier than I would probably want to take them. Just knowing that they won't be back to you in the second round. Or at least assuming so. We could talk about, let's see, with this Cam Smith pick, because like for Cam Smith, it's going to be very important how he tests out, because those are the questions that are coming up. Is he on par athletically as some of the other top tight end or top corners in this class? But like, pair him up with J.C. Jackson. To be fair, oh my gosh, is it Michael Davis? Actually played particularly solid on the outside when Jackson went down. And Jackson, again, I know the play wasn't great from him this past season, but I imagine it'll be better. The talent's there. You also have Asante Samuel Jr., who's kind of been an up and down guy, a bit more consistent during in the later part of the year, and in their one playoff game. He had like 3? He didn't have 3 picks, right? It was only 2. I thought it was 2. Maybe it was 3. I can't remember. But yeah. Oh, Bryce Callahan is a free agent? Oh, so maybe you move Asante Samuel Jr. into the slot. See, you gotta like talk about all this out, take consideration, see what players could do what. Like, man, free agency is gonna help clear a lot of this up though. I didn't realize Bryce Callahan was a free agent. I thought he signed a longer deal than 1 year. Interesting. All right, Baltimore Ravens are going Bijan Robinson. J.K. Dobbins, Gus Edwards are both in the final years of their deal. On top of that, they are the only running backs on contract next year. J.K. Dobbins, he returned slowly from the injury, but once he got going, he looked good, but he also dealt with a little bit of injury after returning last year. So maybe you're like, let's go ahead and get our next guy up for the future, because honestly, having running backs on rookie deals is just amazing, especially if you're going to use them a ton, and the Ravens would use Bijan a ton. So I don't mind Bijan here for this pick. Like, I wouldn't be re-signing J.K. Dobbins. I'd be like, okay, you go get paid elsewhere. Let's go ahead and move on with Robinson. And honestly, let's be honest, Bijan Robinson, I think would be an upgrade over J.K. Dobbins. And that's not a slight on Dobbins. Dobbins is really good. It's just there's some expectations for Bijan. All right. Robinson reminds me a lot of Saquon Barkley. Ooh, not necessarily. I think Barkley was a better athlete. But okay. Minnesota Vikings are taking Jordan Addison. So I know it's real sexy to pair Justin Jefferson up with another receiver, especially with Adam Thielen getting a bit long in the tooth. And like, ooh, just adding more speed with Jordan Addison. Oh, that is kind of sexy. Feel like you could probably maybe consider a corner here, but then at this point with the corners on the board, it's like maybe I could get one of those guys later in the draft, somewhere on day 2. Let's see, you could talk about like he sits here and talks about guys like Antonio Johnson and Drew Sanders, which I imagine are replacements for guys like Harrison Smith, who's up there in years, still playing at a high level. Eric Kendricks, who could end up being a cap casualty. I should do a video on cap casualties. Maybe I'll do one for this weekend. But there's a variety of ways that the Vikings could go. Let's see. We have the Jacksonville Jaguars, Jackson Smith-Njigba. I'm just going to sit here and say I don't like it. Christian Kirk, he's your slot guy. Jackson Smith-Njigba, I firmly think, is a slot player in the NFL. We'll see how he tests out. We'll see how the medicals check out with the hamstring, but I don't like the pick. We're just going to move on. Blah, 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 blah. What else we got? So next pick after the Jags is the Giants. They go Zay Flowers. So they could use some size at receiver, but not necessarily. I mean, Wan'Dale Robinson, Zay Flowers, that's insane speed on the outside. Like, maybe you have your midi little, like, and I mean midi, Tyreek Hill, Jalen Waddle type of matchup. Like, it could work. Like, maybe that's the thing, man. Like, you just get all this speed, and you're like, yo, Jones, you're going to be slinging a lot of deep balls this year. We're just going to make sure you got the separators to do so, or guys that could even create after the catch. Because, like, a big thing with Jones was, like, they loved having Jones just, like, kind of, like, quickly survey the field and dump the ball off exceptionally quick and let the playmakers create. We saw that especially when Wan'Dale was healthy, unfortunately. You know, he started the year banged up and then eventually tore his ACL, which sucks. But what I believe they already released Sterling Shepard, and then Slayton is a free agent this season. So, I mean, they got Sizer as Isaiah Hodgins. They have Richie James there, who's more of a sub-package guy anyway. I say sub-package. More of a, like, empty set, 4 wide receiver set type of guy. So you could always get more speed or more size later on if you do choose so. They could also do that via free agency. So I actually really like the Zay Flowers pick. The Cowboys, they're going on Cyrus Torrence. I kind of thought this one too. Because, I mean, Zach Martin is getting up there in years. If you're looking for maybe a long-term replacement, Connor McGovern does have an expiring contract. If you want to be able to run the ball efficiently and actually have good protection, like Osiris Torrance actually, I think, makes a ton of sense for the Cowboys. Him being available here is really good. All right, Buffalo Bills go Jahmyr Gibbs. I don't like that. I don't like pairing Gibbs up with James Cook. I feel like you probably want a more meaty running back. Devin Singletary is a free agent, but like I honestly think Gibbs at the combine is gonna come in sub 200. So it's like they don't really have that girth on the squad. Like Bijan's one thing, But, like, if I'm the Bills, I'm like, let's just hang back. We'll look day 2. Like, there's going to be guys that are, like, or in the 3rd and 4th round that have size that will work well within this offense. Like, Kendre Miller. You got, Zach Charbonnet. You got, just say there's a bunch of guys that I can't name them now. Sean Tucker. Zach Evans, even in the later rounds, like Dwayne McBride, Tavion Thomas, Chris Rodriguez. There's guys like that. So it's like, I'm not picking Gibbs here. Gibbs is really good, though. I don't think he's a first rounder, but he's in that top 50. Bengals, they go with Dalton Kincaid. They're like to hell with tackle. Joe Burrow, nah, man. You got weapons, but you need more weapons. We'll get the ball out of your hand real quick. Offensive line will work itself out. Just wait. I'd go tackle here. I love Dalton Kincaid, though. He is my tight end, too. Spoiler alert. Before my tight end rankings videos even comes out. Dalton Kincaid, can confirm, still tight end, too. But I get it. Hayden Hurst is a free agent, but it's like, I don't know. I think tackle's more valuable. Guys like Anton Harrison, Darnell Wright, DeJuan Jones, they're in this range. And then we have the New Orleans Saints, Keion White. Keion White, man, is an easy guy to chalk up to the Saints. Their pass rush was pretty lackluster last season. Cameron Jordan is getting up there in age. Marcus Davenport is a free agent, really. Patrick Turner really hasn't mounted into much yet. He's also been a little banged up. But Keion White, man, he's got a versatile body. He's got plus tools. He just needs some more polish. So him going here, I think I can see that. He was a guy that had a really good week in Mobile. All right, we got the Eagles going. Anton Harrison. Ooh. Do tell, Todd. Do tell. It has been a while since the Eagles were first on the clock at 10. Okay. They took Brian Brazee. Now the Eagles pivot to the other side of the football, stay in the trenches. Lane Johnson and Jordan Mailata are under contract for 3 more years, but Harrison could provide depth, perhaps help out on the interior where they're okay. I don't think Philly fans are going to love that one. Let's just say that. I don't think they're going to love that one. Kansas City Chiefs, they take Jalen. Why? No, he wasn't that good in Mobile. I get it. He's got length. He's got movement skills, but it's like in pass protection, he hasn't been that good. He's lumbering in pass protection, Like, I get it, the dude. Oh, man. I get it. He's a developmental guy, but you're not taking that in the first round. Like, I got a 3rd round grade on Jalen Duncan. Like, he was up and down at the Senior Bowl, too. Like, I don't like the pick. I don't know. You let me know what y'all think in the comment section below. That's it for the video. Go ahead, do the YouTube thing as always. Until next time, you be easy, my friends. Later.